He needs 11 pounds and 12 ounces, weight 13 pounds. 11 ounces, 1311 new leader. Tom, show us a couple big mouth back. Man, that is the ticket here this week. I can't believe the other anglers didn't focus on some of the largemouth here.
I've fished there the last 3 times that we've been here, plus I found a couple other spots here a couple weeks ago.
Are you using different baits to catch the largemouth and these guys dragging these tubes around for smallies?
Every fish I weighed this week, I caught on a black and blue jig, except for today one. A lot of fish were short striking my jig and following it all the way to the boat. So I backed way back and I throwed a DB3, and I caught 2 on the first cast, 1 on each hook. And then I think I caught them like 5 straight casts. And I only weighed 1 of them though. I culled all of them except the one. I had 1 3-pounder and 1 about 2 pound in that 1 cast.
How deep were most of these fish this week, Tom?
I never turned my depth finder on. I could reach it with my pole, you know.
And so are you flipping these jigs to grass mostly?
Really anything that break the current. There was some grass, there was rock, there was some seawalls, boat dock, boat slip, boats, anything, you know, to just break the current a little bit.
When you got fish that you can't really pin down and you can't tell what time of day they're going to hit, you can't afford to leave them. You just have to stay and keep hunting, hope they bite. But they were gone. They were either gone or wouldn't bite.
Now Larry back here.
Yeah, but it's not nearabouts enough.
Uh-oh. All right, he needs 6 pounds and 14 ounces. Boom, new leader, 7 pounds, 8 ounces.
Well, I've been a little bit nervous about this bunch of fish all week because it was a kind of school of fish that you'd catch 2 or 3 in the morning, and then you'd catch 2 or 3 about 11 o'clock, and maybe about 2:30 or so you'd catch 3 or 4 more, and it was just kind of weird fishing, but yet it turned into big sacks every day. And when you've got a school of fish like that found, there's no time for adjustments. I mean, you can't leave. You just kind of got to keep hanging around because you never know when they'll start biting. And that east wind today kind of had me upset just a little bit because I couldn't stay in the area like I wanted to. And I fished it good. I stayed out there and stayed with them, and that may have been a mistake. But when you've got an area like that, you never know when you might make 3 casts in a row and catch 3 4-pounders. You just can't. You can't abandon that ship. And so I was kind of stuck, and it just didn't work out today.
Oh man, I know all the kids here look up to this young man. He needs 14.9, so take the lead. Hey now. It's 14.8. 14 pounds and 8 ounces for 4 bass. 4. There you go. Give it up for Van Dam. Classic champion.
Well, for me, you know, I've been to Lake St. Clair a lot of times, and you know, the history is that the best fishing is towards the channels and stuff this time of year, and there's just getting to be too many guys that know the key spots there for me. And so I decided to run way south and try and find some fish that were a little less pressured. And you know, I got on some pretty good fish down there. But the strange thing about this lake is that it has a lot of current through the whole lake, through the river systems obviously, and even down in Lake Erie. And the wind direction really determines how the fish position on key structural elements. And you know, each day we had a different wind here, and it would move the fish around, and you know, you'd have to relocate them in the area, and it was tough.
And we are ready. He's going to have 14.4. Watch it. New leader, 14 pounds, 11 ounces, Peter T. Look at that, Peter T. Man, oh man. He has...
My fishing strategies this week really kind of developed as the tournament went on. I did not have a solid game plan. I had one place that I knew I've caught fish there in the past, and I thought I could catch some there again this time. And because of the way I practiced, I didn't get out early enough to really realize how many fish there were there. These fish bite first thing in the morning, and they bite for an hour and a half, and then they're gone. It's like they they catch a quick continental breakfast and go to work like everybody else in Detroit. But they disappear, and for an hour and a half though, it's a lot of fun. They eat real good, and I didn't find that out till the first day of the tournament. I came in with a good stringer of fish, almost 17 pounds, and was really surprised myself. And as the week went on, I knew that if I had to get on those fish early and catch them early, and then I'd struggle the rest of the day to cull a few fish. I had a few more fish real shallow that were big fish, but they were kind of getting beat up, and as the week went on, they got more and more scarce, and I never caught a big fish off of them yesterday or today. I saw a lot of big fish cruising around.
Let's go to the scales, Pee Wee. He needs 11 pounds and an ounce. Watch it. New leader, 11 pounds, 14 ounces, 11, 14. Fine. Man. He told me early in the week that he was going to run and gun and focus on a lot of different spots.
I've really been trying to manage what little bit I had. I had one place down in Erie, and I ran down to the first day, and the waves were real big, and I went out there on it, and I caught 3, a couple over 3 and a couple 2s, or a 2-pounder, and then I left and came back into St. Clair and just went looking, started running some of the stuff I've learned over the years. And the second place I stopped on, I caught 3 over 4. And when I caught the 415, I pulled the trolling motor up and left and figured, well, I'll save that for the second day. And I spent all day in there the second day and only caught 13-11 there the second day. But my co-angler caught big fish. He had 5-1 that day. He caught that on about his 10th cast of the morning. That gave me a lot of encouragement. But yesterday, when the wind changed, I figured I'll run back down to Erie on my other spot, and I ran down there and whacked them pretty good first thing in the morning. But again, I only caught 6. But when I caught my 6th one, I left. I was trying to manage what little bit I had, and I made the run again to Erie. Pulled up there, and there's a little bit of activity. The current wasn't really the way I would have hoped it would have been, but I did manage to catch 3, and I lost 3 good ones too. And
let's go. Bring him up there. Watch him. He only needed 13.3. New leader, 16 pounds, 15 ounces. 16, 15. Pick him up.
Look.
Largemouth. That is wrong.
Mr. Largemouth, come to the party. Yeah, I've had a great week. I caught 6 fish in 3 days of practice here, fish. I swear, it's 6 fish. And the last day of practice, about noon, I come across this area, and I threw a spinnerbait out there, a Nichols 44 Magnum pulsator spinnerbait, 3/4 ounce, and a 2.5 pounder come up on it, and a 4 pounder followed it. I said, well, I think I'd start here. Well, the next morning I didn't start there. I started on a little school I had. I caught about 10 pounds. I went to that spot, and the first cast I made, I had between 3 and 4 pounds, chased the spinnerbait, 1-8 it at the boat, and it pulled it off. I'm like, well, okay. But I sat there and I caught about 16 pounds in about 30 minutes. And I left and went practicing. The next day I had about 16 or 17 pounds and went practicing, and I found a spot. I caught about a 4.5 pounder on the second day in the afternoon. And today I had a 14.5 inch fish at 12:30. And I just stayed out there where I found that big fish, and from 1 o'clock to 2:30, that's what I caught.
I saw you all over ESPN2 on the live telecast that we did. Let's get a weight. He needs 15.3, 14 pounds and 8 ounces, 14.8. Give him a big round. He's close.
I've been fishing down at Lake Erie all week. Had a grass flat that I was catching them off of on a spinnerbait early. Then I had a deep spot out in Lake Erie. It was about 30 foot deep, and I'd go out there and cull most of what I caught on the spinnerbait. I went to the grass flat today, and I caught a limit. It was a little bit slow. The wind's blowing a different direction every day, and they've moved around. I really didn't locate them today, and I caught a limit, and I went out to my deep spot, and I didn't catch anything. I didn't get a bite, so that kind of hurt me a little bit, and I just kind of ran a few places in the river and ended up culling 2 or 3 fish, and I had a little bit more weight there than what I thought I had.
And moves into the number 2 spot after yesterday. Davey, what do I see?
Well, I told you yesterday I'd been able to inch up just a little bit each day, and being second yesterday, I was hoping it was going to continue that way, so let's see.
We have $110,000 on the line. He needs 13.14. There it is! 19 pounds and 6 ounces. Davey Height, pick him up! $110,000 for your classic champ in 99, Davey Height. Big round of applause for this guy. Oh. I'm going to hold one.
it really was one of the hardest things that I've ever done in my fishing career to have to attend the Bassmaster Classic in New Orleans, because that's where I'd won it in '99, and sit out in the stands and watch. And that's the first one I'd ever been to since I've been competing as a spectator. And it made me do some soul searching. And actually, I came in this tournament probably more focused. I've been in it a real long time, and my wife was behind me 110%. And I said, I just want to have a good finish. If I can get out of here and maybe make a check, I'll be happy. But it turned out a little better than
Let's
that.
bring the wife up right now. There she is. Mrs. Hyde, congratulations.
Thank you.
Man, he's back.
That's right.
I mean, he is on the road again.